Started. Okay, okay. Welcome back to the Nets, the home of unbiased views. So we are back with another episode of Back to the Nets, where we discuss current affairs about cricket. With me is Keyur sir from USA and Shashank Bhai from Hyderabad. Keyur sir, did you watch the match?
नमस्ते यार नन भाई थैंक यू आज का गेम तो यार पूरा नहीं देखा मैंने आई जस्ट सॉ आई वोक अप इन द मिडल ऑफ द नाइट 180 और चेज करना है मैं बोला यार शुड बी अ केक वॉक सो आई स्लेप्ट ऑफ इंडिया की बैटिंग देखी बट थ्रू एंड थ्रू गेम नहीं देखा बट गुड गेम आई गेस क्लोज बॉल स्विंग हो रहा है मुंबई में
Shashank Bhai, I was following your comments on our WhatsApp group. You thought Australia would get 350. What made you think
Arey,
about?
so basically, I didn't watch the game. I just saw the pitch report, and you guys were commenting. I saw your comments. I thought it was a flat track, and just as I was about to uh, post that, what do you say, that poll, Marsh hit some in 2 hours. He hit 20, 24 runs or 20, 30 runs. I guess I don't know exactly what he did. So three sixes he hit in those 2 hours to Kuldeep. So I felt 18 overs, 120 times the score. So I felt okay with that batting order. I think 350 is like minimum हो जाएगा इसमें because Wankhede, if you go back, last Wankhede match I think was a low scoring game. I guess 255 against Australia. They chased it without luck, Finch and Warner. Uh, but 2015 wala because as Keyur was mentioning, March season is like Mumbai में क्या ही होगा and small boundaries and pitch का क्या ही होगा. So I felt it's a flat track and that's what I felt. That was totally off the track, I guess. I mean, maybe if I had watched a couple of overs, maybe I would have said 300. I never would have said obviously 200 or 188 तो मैं expect नहीं कर रहा था. But once they got out for 188, I thought कि एटलीस्ट इतना फ्लैट तो नहीं होगा ट्रैक कि we'll chase it down in 30 overs or 25 overs with wickets to spare. And as expected, our top order ने दिखा दिया कि once ball moves तो ईशान किशन dead duck हो जाता है basically. He gets caught and he just wasted a review as well. So yeah, that is it. As in totally off the track. What made you say that 261 all out हो जाएंगे बोल के? What was your thought process? Because
I saw
what
this
is that you said?
Australian lineup. I didn't see any anchor-like player there. There are only hit-and-miss players like Maxwell, Stoinis. They will get you 300 on their day, but I don't think that day will come 10 out of, sorry, 9 out of 10 times. It may come 2 out of 10 times. So when Smith got out, I knew that they will be bundled out. They will not play the 50 over. That is why I thought they may be around 260 to 270, but I overestimated their lineup in the end because even I didn't watch the match completely. At the start, I was not watching, but I was also surprised by the collapse they had. So first, let's talk about the first innings. What do you guys think about Hardik's captaincy and like his rotation of bowlers? Here, sir.
मैंने I will be honest again I have not seen the first half at all so I woke up to the fact that 180 ऑल डाउन हो चुका था मुझे अगर पूछो ना नंदन भाई आई एम still completely not convinced that we have the bandwidth to accommodate Siraj, Shami. आप अगर अभी देखो अपना कौन सा यार अपना फास्ट बॉलर नॉट पाकिस्तान तस्वीर उमरान उमरान को भी लेकर आप अगर देखो तो it seems like we are mismatching or making way too many changes. I don't really know if we are ready for that yet. और आज कहीं से तो न्यूज़ आ रही थी कि अक्षर नहीं अपना अर्शदीप को भेज रहे इंग्लैंड टू वर्क ऑन हिज रेड बॉल गेम सो ऐसा लगता है टीम सिलेक्शन से दैट वी डोंट रियली हैव अ गेम प्लान अपने विद इन द नेक्स्ट 8 मंथ्स किसको चूज करने वाले हैं वो ऐसा लगता है मुझे क्वेश्चन मार्क है हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं चहल को साइडलाइन कर रहे हैं because Kuldeep has shown his worth. तो agreed. बट ये बाकी के फास्ट बॉलर्स को हम लोग कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंज कर रहे हैं एंड अगर बुमराह फिट हो गया तो क्या करेंगे शमी को बिठा देंगे फॉर ऑल दिस आफ्टर ऑल दिस हार्ड वर्क ये सारे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं ना आई थिंक दैट दे विल outshine Hardik's captaincy, which I feel is not really that something that needs to be discussed because वो temporary है. We know Rohit is going to be fit and Rohit is going to play in the World Cup. तो हार्दिक की कैप्टनसी से ज्यादा मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि यार ये टीम का जो सिलेक्शन है कॉम्पोजिशन है इसका क्या किया जाए व्हाट इज द एंड टू इट दिस कॉस्ट अस इन द पास्ट एक वर्ल्ड कप आई डोंट नो वेयर दिस गोस आपका क्या ख्याल है
Even I agree. The selection model has become more messier with Shreyas Iyer's like fitness. He is going to maybe have a surgery in the recent future. Even he may miss the World Cup, and Sky is not performing. And with Ishan Kishan being so brittle, there is like more what do you say disruptions in like in the future maybe. Like we will head to another World Cup with our lineup not being 100% foolproof. So Shambai, what do you think about the selection and the 11-15 model? I think you're mute, sir.
Okay, sorry. I think selection was on the lines as because of the way our selection or team management is functioning. It was similarly. I was expecting a similar lineup with the means Shardul Thakur played today, right? He played at 9, as in 8 or 9. I don't exactly know the number, as in because he never got batting, but he actually was one of our bowlers. So the 11 is Siraj, Shami, and Shardul are as three pacers, and Hardik Pandya as a backup seaming all rounder, plus Kuldeep and Jadeja as an all rounder. This was our bowling, right? Today.
Yes, 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 correct.
Huh. So point is that well, that number four, as you mentioned, is going to be as in last year. Everyone knows how we faltered with that place, and while we were thinking that Shreyas has nailed his spot, and suddenly he gets injured. I don't know what happens to people. What has been happening to people of late in NCA? They go to NCA, they come back from NCA, and again they go back to NCA. As in Shreyas Iyer, when he was in NCA, he was posting dance reels and all. He came back to the 11, and suddenly in the last Test match, stiff back, and he's back to. And now chances are that touch wood that he'll not miss the IPL because again, if at all that happens, it's going to be really tough for us to
Why on your
again.
point that people come back from NCA and go back to NCA again, I would like to bring another controversial thing. If you remember in Chetan Sharma's sting operation, he mentioned that people who are half fit take their fitness and to make themselves available for selection and then get injured. We have seen Deepak Chahar in that Bangladesh series. He played the first ODI. He got injured. Now we have seen Bumrah like in that South Africa series. He played that useless T20I and he got injured for like risking two World Cups and maybe the WTC final also. He will be missing. And now we have Shreyas Iyer. Maybe like if he had skipped the Australia series, he may have like been fit for the like WTC and the World Cup. Now his future has been like again in trouble. Maybe he was insecure about his place in the Test 11 with Sky getting to debut in the first Test. Maybe like he was 80% or 90% fit and he made himself available. Who knows?
So if at all what you said is happening is totally wrong because fitness certificates, fitness means a proper means proper medical test has to take place and should take place. That has to be the norm, right? You can't just fake your medicals or fake your medical tests, especially at this level, because especially if you are playing a test match half fit, this is what happens. But I hope that is not happening. But as the chain of events, as the train of events, we can see clearly this has been the norm. Like people go to NCA, come back to NCA, and they say they're still injured, and they haven't. They go back, and he has again gone back to NCA. So what is happening at NCA? No one knows. So if what you're suggesting, as in, at least we are just hope we just hope
It
that
is an
it is.
assumption based on the sting operation that maybe this has happened. That's all.
I agree.
I
As
hope
in,
that is not the case.
that's what I'm saying. It's just, if it remains a sting operation, if it remains a speculation, it is good for our team. Otherwise, I think we are in a deep spot of bother because um, as in precedents aren't good. As in for us to make such assumptions, these are the precedents, and for us to see them happening, and for us to, and especially number four slot. So Surya Kumar Yadav, I think somehow hasn't. I think he has the talent, but somehow I think see the main difference between a T20 game and an ODI game is that T20 game your best bowlers have only 4 hours, and you can obviously target your weaker bowlers, and but ODI game is not that your best bowlers have 10 overs to tackle. It's a passage of play, as in it's a different format altogether. It's a different uh, mm, so you need to plan, you need to assess. That is why Virat Kohli, or for that matter, for a long period of time, people like Virat Kohli could master the game because they had a plan. They were more or less like okay, this is what I'll go. This is how I'll take risks. This is how it is. But Surya Kumar Yadav, I think somehow is faltering at that place where if it is a T20 match, he comes at 7 overs, and he knows if he bats till 15, 16 overs, he's good. But ODIs, if he bats for 8 overs, nothing is going to happen. And even there also, if once he comes, if you're attacking with your, uh, what do you say, like Mitchell Stark is bowling to him for 4 overs continuously. Now in a T20, it doesn't happen, right? Mitchell Stark bowling to Surya Kumar for continuously 4 overs. It doesn't happen. So I think that is the difference. I think it's again a psychological change, more or less like I think he can adapt and he can play a good role. But four is again, I don't think the four suits him better. He's more like a number six player. Is I think that's what I think.
Here, sir, what do you think about the same issue? Surya Kumar Yadav in the ODI squad. What is plaguing him? Like he has been performing in the same white ball format in T20s, but uh, what is like plaguing him in the longer format? Any changes in the lineup as suggested by Shashank, like making KL bat a step higher at number four and him coming at five would do it.
KL, मतलब भाई KL अगर आप देखो तो KL for me is a much rounded batsman. He has not been performing, that's a different story. He has failed us, that's a different story. But अगर आप देखो तो KL has all the shots in the book. I feel KL is a much better batsman than Surya Kumar Yadav technically. Surya Kumar Yadav T20 में तो he is exceptional. We cannot even compare. But one day में शायद कहीं ना कहीं I think it's more like a mental block. And like Shashank bhai said that we probably might have to put him in a position where he has to be given a chance. Like भाई तू 10 ओवर नहीं खेल सका so consider yourself off from the game. We have many batsmen sitting in the pipeline. Again, we have Deepak Huda, we have Sanju Samson, we have players down there. ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं है possible. But just because he has shown so much promise, and now the fact that it's going to be 350 is considered as the new 300, somewhere I feel he's getting his lifelines over and over again. That in spite of consistent failures, batsmen like him and Pant find place in the ODI structure because of the promise they have shown rather than what they have actually been able to implement. मुझे लगता है सूर्य कुमार यादव मे बी ऑन thin ice. The fact that Shreyas Iyer is injured gives him a longer rope. बट क्वेश्चंस हैव टू बी आस्क्ड. उसको एक पुश देना पड़ेगा कि सैमसंग को लेकर आए भाई. तू नहीं चला तो ये है. एंड दैट मे प्रोबब्ली लाइट दैट फायर अगेन. दैट्स माय टेक नंदन भाई. आई एग्री विद शशांक व्हाट शशांक भाई सेड.
I agree with you, Shashank. Kewal bhai. I think we have to give him these two ODIs left in the Australia Australia series. I would remember Sanjay Manjrekar's tweet for Virat Kohli, like we would confirm this guy is not good enough for Test cricket, and then drop Virat Kohli. So similarly, I would like to give Surya Kumar Yadav another two ODI games maybe, and then think of dropping him because Shreyas Iyer is not there in the 11. So in the 15, maybe give him two ODIs. I would like next we can talk about the rockstar Jadeja, like the impact he has had in the series, in the Test series, and now in the first ODI. He is coming. Remember, he's coming from a break of approximately how many last September. He has played a last white ball game, and straight away comes in has such a big impact with both bat, ball, and while fielding. What do you say, Shashank?
I think Jadeja, oh, as time has passed, as last especially last 4 or 5 years, especially after that superlative knock of 2019 World Cup, especially we came out of nowhere. There was no business of us winning that, as in at least coming close after that dismal top order performance when we were 92 for 6 of 30 overs. I think I don't remember exactly because that is when I started walk. I walked away from the stadium. So after that knock, I think if you see his stats post even in Test match arena, his stats have improved drastically. Even batting numbers have improved drastically after that knock, especially and limited overs as well. His stocks have gone up drastically. Now we don't see any team without Jadeja. So see, with Jadeja, I think with Jadeja at number seven, always will have that cushion of these kind of top order failures, and he coming back and rescuing us. If you remember, there was a knock he played along with Hardik in the third ODI in Australia. We lost the first two ODIs. Steven Smith masterclasses, 2020 December. Third
Yes, yes,
ODI,
I
he and
remember.
Jad. Huh. So I think that is the kind of role he'll play for us. As in, he'll give you good catches, runouts if possible, and tight bowling. Yeah, bowling he might not be that effective or impactful on turning tracks, as in not on turning tracks, maybe on flatter tracks. But he's more of a containing bowler, and we will need an attacking option in Kuldeep, especially that we were discussing the other day. But batting wise, he has evolved, and he's like if at all there are three players who you write on the sheet, he'll be the third name because now Gill has evolved. Gill and somewhat Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli will take the other two, two, three, and Pandya is one more. But Jadeja is like I think batting wise in ODIs especially he's much better than Hardik Pandya. As maybe a bigger statement, but I think he's much better than Hardik Pandya. And with left hand batting also, because without Pant and Dhawan in our top five, mm, uh, we don't have that left hand cushion. It is, see, at the end of the day, it is just a belief that you need to have a mix of left and right hand batsmen, but that always helps. And he's one. I'm not saying that he should bat at five or something. Seven is his position. That's what I. He has nailed his place.
Your by what is your opinion on Jadeja?
I think he has been a game changer. अगर आप कोई भी टीम में देखो तो any other test playing country that is on par with us, Australia, New Zealand, England, ऐसा player नहीं.
I think
He was disconnected. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So,
What were you discussing Jadeja, right?
Jadeja. So now, how was Mitchell Marsh's innings? I just watched
Even I
the.
didn't watch it. I was shocked that he is opening the innings. I didn't watch it. Uh, maybe
Some somehow I think that if you are playing him purely as a batsman, I don't think so. He's worth that space. At least I think I don't know. I'm not sure. I think if he's giving you 4 5 overs, that's a different story altogether. But if only as a batsman, I don't know. He had the best as in he played the easiest on that track. Somehow he made the track believe made me believe that the 300 and 350 is gettable on the track. But That is what, as
Uh,
in,
Shashank bhai, why do you think like the Indian openers or the top order found it hard to like get runs initially? Like
I, I watched at least initial part of the match, and Paul was doing all kind of things as well, but it was not something unplayable. If you were to look at Mitchell Stark, especially that over which he got Virat Kohli, and also there was a chance Josh Inglis dropped Shubman Gill. The ball was swinging off the pitch, so it was seaming and swinging off the pitch. So I think that was where we need to have been more as in, because 188 only was the score. I think you could have played a bit more risk-free game at that point, because we know our 5 for 3 is always imminent whenever the ball moves. So I
yeah,
think later on, I think if you were to see the Hardik and how Hardik and KL Rahul played, as in 188 on a flat, as in on a Wankhede wicket, with once the ball gets a bit on the older side. I know that there are two new balls, but I think after 10-15 hours it will get settled down and you'll get to know the pace of the wicket. And but I think Virat Kohli's dismissal, if you see, I could he was shuffling when he played that similar shot to Trent Bolt in 2019.
yeah, yeah,
Today
correct.
he was not shuffling, but he played the ball across the line. He was playing as if he was playing as I'm not a technical expert, obviously. Apar was suggesting me to coach him or something, but. But it's like for a naked eye and for someone who has been watching cricket for a long time, I felt that he could have maybe to play those kind of shots. He will definitely get some time. First, you should get used to the pace of the wicket and how the ball is doing. Once the ball is swinging, I think Stark is very dangerous at that 146, 146 to 150 pace, and that angle also when the ball comes into the so that is the same angle which got Virat out in 2019 World Cup as well, right? Similar angle. And even the ball which Shubman Gill first edged to Josh English, the ball straightened once it off the pitch. So I think that was the challenge. So once one ball moves, I think our top order doesn't have any answer. That is where we falter. So that is going to be a crucial factor even in the World Cup. Maybe means as in if you remember, not every ICC World Cup will get all flat tracks. There will be some testing tracks as well. Even if it is in India, there will be some tracks where it will assist the bowlers and it will not be a 300, 350 track. It will be 220 tracks. There will be 220, 250 tracks as well. So I think we have to be prepared for those kind of chases also. And with MS not there in our setup now, because those kind of chases were his bread and butter. So if at all there's a 190 or 220 chase, even if top order falters, MS will come and he'll guide us home. So that was his major. What do you say?
Not only,
He
I would like to add to this. Not only the chasing point. When you are batting first, also he would judge the ideal first inning scores on that wicket, and he would bat accordingly, even while batting first. So,
yeah, yeah,
like I think our team management should be proactive in that case also. While batting first, also if our like top 2 or 3 wickets falls quickly, we should adjust to the situation and maybe target 250 instead of going for 350 every game. Uh, like
yeah, yeah,
our bowling
totally,
lineup is a good one. What even if with or without Bumrah, it is a good one. It can be like defendable. We should back
so
them and maybe go for a moderate score on that.
totally agree. And if you were to see, we are somehow I feel that we are off late, at least off late, on total flat tracks. We aren't that we aren't that great against quality teams on total flat track. Maybe yes, maybe I'm giving a wrong example of Adelaide track. Adelaide track was not totally a flat track. It eased off in the second innings and whatever it was, and we had a very bad start and all. But if at all Paul had something like an MCG track, we would have been covered. As in our batting is not something in limit. Yeah, but again, it's mixing of formats. We can't actually compare T20s to ODIs because ODIs here, there is a lot. This is a longer phase of time where you have to um, pass your. We need to judge what is a par score, and for our kind of a setup with Virat and Rohit at the helm, and they have been the masters. They have been at the helm for a longer period of time. So I think except for that number four slot, we are more or less covered. But for these kind of situations where they and I think they will address these kind of situations as well because they have still a bit more time to take the as in at least 15 ODIs are there, right? After IPL, at least
Yeah.
there are at least 10 to 12 ODIs.
Yes, yes,
So I
yes.
think the
I think there's the
time is
Asia
almost
Cup coming up. I don't know where it will be held, but
Asia Cup. Asia Cup is always interesting with Pakistan in picture.
mm, like you told the 11 is settled, but what about the backups? What do you think about Ishan Kishan? Uh, is he the
I don't.
ideal opener or
Again,
ideal
this
second keeper?
Again, that is a problem with Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan is more or less like a FTB, flat track bully kind of a guy. He'll as in at least I'm not going to I'm not saying I'm not going to I'm just saying based on what I've seen him perform. Like if the ball does something, he's a dead duck. In Bangladesh, third ODI he performed, but later on after Bangladesh ODIs there were three ODIs. What were those against? Um,
New Zealand, I think New Zealand, right?
New Zealand.
Where Shreyas
I
Iyer
think we
was.
played. Uh, I think we played six ODIs after that because I remember a
Oh
sluggish
yeah,
track.
KL Rahul was busy with marriage and he got a chance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is what he played in the middle order, I guess.
Yes, yes, middle order. Then
So
he
on
opened in the
flight,
T20.
even there also we didn't see anything. Any after the 200, I think 9 or 10 string of low scores on. So I think my problem is that we don't uh, we have a lot of options, but we stick to some of the players and we just continue to give them chances based on one odd performance. I do agree that 200 was a superlative innings, but again that track on that Bangladeshi track was uh, nothing less than a highway pitch or a highway road. Because if you remember watching that innings, I think every ball he was timing was going over the ground, or as in there was somehow I felt that 400 pitches are something not something which we should get players on.
Actually,
So
if he
these are
had
the
played
tracks.
another like 10 overs, he would have been the first man to score a triple century also in ODI.
Yeah, that is what he was just as in I felt that somehow book cricket is being played on that track because every ball he was timing it was going down the ground. Every as in proper book cricket kind of a scores were like scoring was happening in that match. So we can't judge based on that one particular inning, and somehow it doesn't give us that confidence that we can back him for that role as a backup opener, especially. I think we need someone else.
I would like to check. Okay, Babar's team has been eliminated in PSL.
Okay, okay. Today they had that the
Yeah, yeah, the
eliminator.
second qualifier. At one stage,
Okay.
it looked like Peshawar will win. Then they managed to beat this Lahore Qalandars. Sign of this team. But,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Uh, Coming to the bowling, what do you think about Shami and Siraj bowling and like prospect of Bumrah returning in the World Cup? Who are you dropping among the two?
Well, honestly, I think Bumrah, if he's directly coming and if he's expecting to play directly, I will not be comfortable because same thing. I think these people have. Um, he is definitely an X factor, but I think he has to prove his match fitness and he has to put down some performances to at least come back to the pecking order. That is what I think. That has to be an ideal That has to be the ideal way, right? And that is what these people have been even projecting also. Like Shubman Gill, he was their designated opener, but he was injured, and Ishan Kishan came in. Ishan Kishan had hit a double, but still the next match, Ishan is dropped and Shubman Gill comes back to the 11. Yeah, but now with Bumrah scenario is different because he has been injured and but I think in the pecking order, for me, Shami and Siraj should play ahead of Bumrah just because of the consistent performances they have been giving us, especially at home. Because I would have definitely favored Bumrah if at all it was outside. But home conditions, I think Bumrah is as good as Shami or Siraj. That's what I think. Maybe he has that X factor in terms of variations, but I still think Shami and Siraj have done nothing wrong. Especially Siraj has been delivering in every odd match, man. And especially in the first 5 overs, he gets you a wicket. So you just see his last 15 ODIs, especially Siraj. He has done exceptionally well in ODIs. There's nothing to complain on his performance. So that's what I think.
Is there a chance of playing all three, like three fast bowlers and Kuldeep, and rest the batting?
Three fast bowlers and Kuldeep. Mhm. I think there is a chance of playing three fast bowlers, but on Indian tracks, I think three fast bowlers who don't bat with Kuldeep. I think your batting order will be only till seven and four number 11s. So that will be the problem. That will be the only problem. So if it's a track which is favoring bowlers, I think that they can go with this kind of a combination, but otherwise they won't take that because ODIs is a longer format, right? You'll have phases where you need to, and your number seven and number eight are also very crucial in chases and also in setting up scores. So I think that is a bit tough ask to take. Somehow I think six and seven will be Pandya and Jadeja, and later on I think four bowling options. Somehow Kuldeep is getting ahead of Chahel of late, so he'll play at. What do you think? Shardul will play, or there is someone else for that spot? As in, is he the right person to actually play that role? He gives us breakthroughs, but off late he hasn't been clicking with the bat, and he somehow sometimes he tends to be flat and expensive in limited overs formats.
What do you
Shardul,
suggest other than Shardul? Maybe uh, Akshar Patel. With the batting
but
form he has been,
but
but
again, Akshar Patel will be a one-dimensional option. As they
yeah,
are bowling.
but
Mm,
I don't see. Or maybe Deepak Chahar if he is fit. I don't know when he will become fit.
yeah, Deepak Chahar is a better option than Deepak Chahar is definitely a better option than Shardul Thakur. But yes, obviously his fitness has been. I hardly remember him being fit. He hasn't been fit for a long time. That will be the again. But I think more or less, I think one of the two will play. With Chahar not being, I think, is he fit now? And I'm not sure. Will he play the
Even I
IPL
don't
after
know.
the sixth?
I was referring to that incident in Bangladesh. No, he came and he bowled a few overs and then he got injured. Then in the succeeding press conference, Rohit Sharma criticized the players for like getting like saying they are fit and coming here and doing like being unfit. So I thought he was referring to either Deepak Chahar or Kuldeep Singh because both got injured and both went home. So
Okay, okay.
you never know when he's fit, when he's not fit. I saw a post. I think he told that he will play the IPL because he was sold
Okay.
for 14 crore. Maybe he will play the IPL and we'll see his fitness.
Latest night. I don't know any updates on his injury status. But if not for him, I think Shardul will play that role. But I think if at all Shardul is not playing, I think again we can't. Means same problem we'll get if you're playing three usual pacers. Then I think. Jadeja and Aksar can both play. But I think that will not happen because left arm both similar angles, more or less similar kind of bowlers, similar variations. It'll add to a batting cushion, but bowling wise will not have variation. And one leggy is somehow a good option when we and that has that was our norm till England blasted us in that match in 2019 World Cup and also in one of the ODIs when they came to India. We are talking about that match, right, where Kuldeep got blasted, Bairstow and mm, Ben Stokes. You remember that
Rest
ODI,
of
right?
it that reverse sweep for sixes and all, I remember.
Yeah. 99 or 52 balls or something. So I think that is when Kuldeep's career somewhat got halted midway after that innings by Ben Stokes. So that, but he's a changed bowler nowadays, as in he has been more or less he had a good IPL, not only IPL also, whatever limited opportunities he got in Test matches, he has been good and even in ODIs. So fingers crossed, uh, he'll be he should be better than mm, what he was previous, especially after that 2019-2020 lower lows which he went through for a couple of years. But
Uh,
mm,
I
yeah,
want to bring another name in the mix, that is Sanju Samson. I'm hearing that he may replace Iyer because Iyer was in the 11 in the 15 announced for this series. So now since Iyer is injured, maybe Samson will come in. Do you feel that he may get a chance in place of Kishan Kishan in the next two ODIs, or should he play? Because he's an option, because he's a one, what I think, he's a one fix for all. Like he can open, he can play in the middle order, he can replace Ishan Kishan and KL Rahul and Surya Kumar Yadav, because he he has the game in him to accelerate also from ball one. So uh, what
probably
do
I
you
think he should. Yeah, probably I agree with you. Probably he should be the ideal replacement for Iyer because in the limited opportunities he has got, he has performed much better than Suryakumar Yadav. In the pecking order, he should have been ahead of Suryakumar Yadav, but again, we know, right? We obviously mix formats and we judge players on based on that. So that is why he hasn't been getting mm, he has been left off the radar because of that. As in, some of the players you tend to see that
I
they
Shashank, I still feel that Surya Kumar Yadav is a good fund to take, especially it is not the World Cup. We still have 15, 20 games. Let us give him another ODIs. But Ishan Kishan, I don't feel like this guy is gonna get into the 11, the final 11 of the World Cup. So I feel that Samson can be brought in as an opener and let him be the reserve reserve opener and bar reserve wicket keeper for the World Cup. What do you say?
yeah, oh, definitely that is what I've been saying, right? As in he should obviously get a place ahead of um, because again that's what that pun which you mentioned Surya Kumar Yadav because of the we have seen him perform in uh, limited over white ball T20 format. And I think there haven't, as in at least in our kind of a setup, we as in, do we have any T20 specialists as such who have done only well in T20s and failed in ODIs? At least India, I'm not talking about others. Other
Correct. I am thinking of anyone.
hardly
I
any.
can't
Will
think.
not find
No,
it.
no, no, no. There is no one.
So that is what will not find players, especially in our setup. In foreign setups, is a different story altogether. But in our setup, we'll not find that kind of player. So I think mm, we have to mm, means Suryakumar Yadav, if you remember that match against South Africa, Perth wala match, he did a really, really good job, and he actually took the score from that major batting collapse, and he was the only one who played till. So, so that is what someone from the coaching setup has to sit him through and make him realize that. You have to face some balls in order to. I think this is again very trivial stuff we have. We should not be discussing all this because they might already be doing it. But he hasn't given. He hasn't. I mean, somehow I feel that there is always that. Uh, what do you say? Do we have to um, go from ball one, or do we have to play a catch-up game or whatever? That is what I felt. He's always confused when he is in that ODI setup. T20 is more his clarity of thought is, as in he has a much clarity on his role and what he has to do. So I think somewhere it's a mindset rather than the technique or talent. That is what I think. And as you said, if at all he clicks, I think there's no better than him playing for us at number 4 or 5. But I think yes, he could be given a couple, maybe 3, 4 matches more, but not more than that because there are a lot of others on the queue, right? As in if you so there are a lot of others in the pecking order, and it will be unfair if we are just not giving them chances.
I would like to bring one more point. Like we used to see in the older Indian team, there was a flexibility. Like if there is early wicket falling, you would see someone from the middle order come and play number 3 or number 4. Like we know that the ball was swinging, and Rahul may be the better wicket player instead of Surya Kumar. So was there a case of Rahul being sent above Surya Kumar Yadav in those circumstances? Another example I can give is uh, the Ishan Kishan game, the 210 he scored in Bangladesh. Surya Kumar Yadav didn't come till the like 48th over maybe. Pace had came above him. There the situation demanded someone like we had
Suryakumar.
300 on the board and someone who could have taken that 300 to 450 maybe. So
Hmm.
I feel there is some rigidity in the 11 in the batting lineup that the team management is very insecure in like changing it or according to the situation. What is
So obviously, I think rigidity should not be there, and you need to be more flexible. But at least today's scenario, I think today's scenario is more or less um, your number 4 is expected to deal those kind of situations, right? He's somewhat a bridge between the top and middle order. So your number 4 is expected to actually uh, play those kind of situations. So if your number 4 is not equipped to do it, he's not a number 4. I
true, true.
agree with what you said. KL might handle better, but KL is not being tested for number 4. KL has been there as a number 5 for a long time. He has been given the role which he played today. That has been his role, defined role, which is good. If at all you have a role, a defined role, I think which is the best thing which could happen. There's no uncertainty, right? We are clear. Okay, even if early wickets fall, you have some like 5 for 3 kind of situation rarely happens, so you'll be in. But today it happened 15 for 3. But at least you know that 5 is a different role. You'll play for some time. You'll play yourself in, and or if you are like today we were discussing in the group as well, 15 for 3 or 270 for 3. So these are the different kind of situations where you're coming at the start or at the end or somewhere in the middle. So uh, it's a lot of different. There's a lot of difference between number 4 and number 5 just because it's an ODA. Uh, so I think we should not tinker with KL's role. I think he should stick to number 5. But as you said, once you get that kind of a cushion where, like that Ishan Kishan wala thing, then every team, like if you remember, Australia will get in Maxwell if they get that kind of a start. Like they are one down, only Finch and Smith play, like they did in 2015 World Cup. Once the second wicket falls, they'll get in Maxwell. They'll not go with the standard batting lineup. That is when I think we can tinker the batting lineup. But if at all before 35 overs, wicket falls, before 30 overs wicket falls, I think we should stick to the same lineup. That is the thing. But
Like I would like
especially,
to add one more thing. Considering hypothetically, Shreyas Iyer is not going to play the World Cup with his injury. His injury is serious, and he may go for surgery, and he may not be fit for the World Cup. Uh, like, would you suggest KL Rahul playing the number four spot and Surya coming down?
Kirby can take over. I think Kirby is back as in.
Nambai, I think of all the players that we have, KL Rahul is equipped to take that number four position. Rather than investing all along in Surya Kumar Yadav, again, I'm not taking him out of the equation altogether. But if KL, we have noticed that KL doesn't come in and start throwing his bat right away. KL needs that runway to actually come through. If KL can bat along, I would even be of the opinion that Jadeja can come before Hardik. Jadeja for me is again a well-rounded player as can play any role. Again, last 5 over है तो Hardik is the one to go. But I think KL and Jadeja have the ability or the temperament to take that position. I somehow feel that somewhere in this, Akshar Patel as a player is going to be washed out. And again, ऐसा होते ही रहता है धोनी था तो कार्तिक का करियर खत्म हो गया. Jadeja is that good that he takes away all those players. But I feel Akshar Patel on any other team would have been a top four, top five batsman. Just by the batting skills and bowling तो add on है. Bowling इतनी lethal नहीं है. बट आई थिंक हम लोग जो ये रिजिड माइंडसेट से जा रहे हैं कि सूर्य कुमार यादव हैज टू फाइंड अ स्पॉट समवेयर इफ श्रेयस इज नॉट इन. आई थिंक वी हैव द फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी टू ब्रिंग इन मोर. विल द मैनेजमेंट और लीडरशिप डू इट? ये तो शायद मुझे आई बट दैट इज माई गेस दैट we don't have to be stuck with Surya Kumar Yadav. He has so far failed us in ODIs. He has the talent, doesn't have the temperament. We have people who can have both. Sanju Samson hai. Why are we completely disregarding him is beyond me.
I think this is a very good point about Akshar Patel. Like now, think Shreyas Iyer is ruled out and Surya Kumar is out of form. Can India back Jadeja the batsman and play Akshar instead of Surya in that like in the spot of Surya Kumar, and maybe everyone moves a spot ahead and Akshar comes slots in as at number 7. Is there a possibility of that? Like backing Jadeja the batsman?
I don't see any reason why we cannot do that. Honestly speaking, I still feel that there has to be some kind of a bias against Sanju Samson because he can bat from one down to five down, six down. He has the ability, has the shots, everything. Asian Kishan is based. Asian Kishan is the biggest fraud, 15 crore wala fraud hai. Mumbai has suffered because of him. And now we have that thing where IPL aane wali hai, he will perform in one or two games, show his promise and be a part of the game. But he has to be limited to 4 over cricket because we can 20 hour cricket because we cannot afford to have a hole in a 50 over game in a World Cup year. तो राहुल है, अगर आप राहुल से कीपिंग नहीं करवा रहे हो, प्लेइंग राहुल एज अ जेन्युइन बैट्समैन एट फोर, you have the flexibility of adding Sanju Samson in or Jadeja in or Akshar Patel in. You have the flexibility. It's all about the management.
I agree. Even we were talking about Samson a bit earlier that he's a one fit solution for everything. He's a opener, he's a middle order player, he's a wicket keeper. He can be a backup wicket keeper in the 15. Uh, is there anything else to talk about session by here?
I think we are good.
एक सिर्फ छोटा सा पॉइंट है, अक्षर पटेल, अर्शदीप गोइंग टू कैंट to play in the county season. Do you think somewhere we are thinking that maybe ओवल में उसका इंक्लूजन हो सकता है या is it just?
Actually, he's going after the WTC final, so maybe they're not thinking about him right now. Maybe the next cycle.
So grow him as a test bowler, left-handed test bowler.
Yeah. I think he's serious enough to like he's thinking about playing for India in the longer format. Maybe that is why it is his initiative more than BCCI or team managers. Because he's going in July and WTC final is in June.
Yes.
So I think Kevirbai, did you follow the qualifier too
नहीं नहीं, मैंने देखा था
of
लास्ट 17 रन
CSL?
11, उसके बाद बंद कर दिया. What is who won?
This Lahore Qalandars won. Babar's team lost.
So
Babar
will be sad.
Babar today also played a very vintage Babar knock. 36 ball 42. Strike rate of 116.
So Ravindra will pretty much be sad about this, but chalo, koi nahi, it is what it is. So
Okay.
now the final is Lahore versus Multan.
Yeah, Lahore versus Multan. Multan is playing very good. Maybe Multan can win, but you never know in finals.
Agreed. Finals is pressure अलग होता है. Completely agree.
Here I am an RCB fan still hoping that WPL RCB is gonna win with one win out of seven. Sorry, six.
अरे,
What is have you followed WPL Shashank Bhai and KFC?
I've,
I have
I've,
been
I've,
watching the
I've,
games. Shashank bhai
I
बोलिए.
watched the first few matches. Later on, I've been following the point table and scores from you guys only. I haven't watched a single match.
मेरा
What is
personal
I saw
bias
that,
बोलूं,
and I
मैं
saw that Virat Kohli speech to RCB women, RCB girls. That speech, I saw that motivational speech. This is the best franchisee. Even if you are losing, this is the best franchisee. Is what he said. Somehow I couldn't relate to it, but yeah.
नहीं, मुझे आप bias बोलो जो भी बोलो, but I feel Harmanpreet, the captain who's taking responsibility, has evolved since she has joined Mumbai. I see that as a positive for Indian cricket going forward. That she has come into clutch situations, accelerated, and she has actually shown that she can, get more responsibility. I like that.
I agree. Both Meg Lanning and Harmanpreet Kaur have been very onto the point with captaincy. I think that is missing in RCB, which has a very good lineup, but still it has like failed miserably. But you never know. Shashank bhai, imagine after Virat Kohli's speech, if
Mhm.
RCB goes on to win the next two games and somehow qualifies to the to the qualifiers, and there
Hmm.
also पता नहीं मतलब कुदरत का निजाम won the finals. People
Hmm.
will true ए विराट कोहली तुम अपने टीम को क्यों नहीं मोटिवेशनल स्पीच देते वुमेन.
Quite
ऐसा ना हो
possible
कि
that is.
विराट कोहली को सिर्फ मोटिवेशनल स्पीच के लिए वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप भेजे सर. आजकल उसकी बैटिंग तो चल रही है बेचारे की. चलो.
But he talked very well. Here sir, you should watch that video. Like
I'll check it out for sure. I mean, he is an asset. ये हम लोग झगड़ते रहते हैं. I don't know why we bash Virat Kohli for any reason. He is an asset. He is who he is.
even today I think he was giving the huddle speech because there was no senior apart from him. Everyone was young. So I saw on Twitter that he was giving the huddle speech because Rohit was also not there today. Maybe Rohit will come in the next game. Ishan Kishan moves out. Any other changes you suggest?
No,
Uh,
that was the only change I finished.
that is the only change that we can think of.
Because Samson is coming in place of Shreyas Iyer most probably. Is there a chance? Shreyas Iyer, sorry, Surya Kumar in for Surya Kumar out and Samson in.
See, the
I would
problem
not
is,
suggest it.
if अगर Samson by chance fail हो जाता है, let's say Samson fails, then again that whole thing comes in where Surya Kumar was not given enough chances. फिर Samson was never given enough chances. एक तो I would say that if he's coming in, he should come in for someone else. If he's not coming in, then let Surya get all the 3 or 4 games that he's getting. And if he fails, then it's bye bye Surya Kumar Yadav from ODIs. Let's stick with Sanju Samson. ऐसा ना करो कि आधे आधा करते रहो and you never are able to finalize. And Samson, if Samson proves, he may even put I mean, he may put Shreyas Iyer's position in danger. कोहली तो हटने से रहा, रोहित हटने से रहा, और राहुल का तो जो जुगाड़ है वो सबको पता है. So, जो हटेगा तो वो बीच में से श्रेयस ही हटेगा. Then he has the ability to do it. देखते चलो, we'll just wish for the best for Indian cricket.
On that note, can we end here by? We can do the
Yeah,
honor.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Shashank Bhai, Nandan Bhai, for having this. People who have been watching us for so long, please do leave us feedback, like us, subscribe to us, give us a shout out. People who haven't seen us before, please do give it a try. Let us know how we are doing. Good feedback, bad feedback, all is welcome. It's just an honest opinion from people who love Indian cricket, who love cricket, and come in and meet together and talk about it. And on that note, thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with us, watching us. Thank you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.